The abduction. In the quiet suburbs of New Austin, Texas, 17-year-old Zoe Chen sat hunched over her custom-built computer, her fingers flying across the keyboard. The soft blue glow of multiple monitors illuminated her determined face, reflecting off her thick-rimmed glasses. Lines of code scrolled rapidly across the screens as she worked, oblivious to the world outside her digital realm. Zoe was no ordinary teenager. A prodigy in computer science and cryptography, she had already made a name for herself in underground hacking circles. But tonight, she was working on something far more important than cracking corporate firewalls or exposing government secrets. She was trying to save the world. For weeks, strange signals had been detected coming from deep space. The world's governments had tried to keep it quiet, but Zoe had intercepted the transmissions. She knew something big was coming, and she was determined to crack the alien code before it was too late. As she worked, a faint humming sound began to fill the air. At first, Zoe dismissed it as background noise from her overclocked system, but as the sound grew louder, she finally tore her eyes away from the screens and looked out her bedroom window. Her jaw dropped. The night sky was alive with lights, pulsing and shifting in impossible patterns. Massive shapes loomed in the darkness, blocking out the stars. Zoe fumbled for her phone, her hands shaking as she tried to call her parents, her friends, anyone. But the lines were dead. Suddenly, a blinding beam of light shot through her window, bathing her room in an otherworldly glow. Zoe felt a strange tingling sensation throughout her body, and then, to her horror, she began to float. She clawed at her desk, trying to anchor herself, but it was no use. The force pulling her was too strong. As she was lifted towards the ceiling, Zoe managed to grab her laptop, clutching it to her chest like a lifeline. If she was being abducted by aliens, she wasn't going without her most valuable tool. In a flash of light, Zoe found herself in a vast metallic chamber. The walls pulsed with an eerie bioluminescence, and the air was thick with an acrid alien scent. Disoriented and terrified, she scrambled to her feet, her eyes darting around for any sign of her captors. They didn't keep her waiting long. A door she hadn't noticed before slid open with a soft hiss, and 3 figures entered. Zoe's breath caught in her throat as she took in their appearance. They were tall, easily 7 feet, with slender, elongated limbs. Their skin was a pale, iridescent blue, and their large, almond-shaped eyes seemed to glow with an inner light. But what struck Zoe most was the sense of intelligence and curiosity in those alien gazes. The lead alien stepped forward, raising a device that looked like a cross between a smartphone and a jellyfish. It spoke, its voice a melodious series of clicks and whistles. To Zoe's amazement, the device in its hand translated, "Human female, young, possesses advanced computational device, ideal subject for study." Zoe clutched her laptop tighter, her mind racing. These aliens, whoever they were, had come prepared. They had translation technology, which meant they'd been studying Earth for some time. But why? And why her? Swallowing her fear, Zoe decided to take a chance. "I can understand you," she said, her voice shaky but determined. "Why have you brought me here?" The aliens exchanged looks of surprise. The leader spoke again, this time directly to Zoe. "You comprehend our language. Fascinating. Perhaps this specimen is more valuable than we initially assessed." Zoe bristled at being called a specimen, but she pressed on. "I've been studying your transmissions. I know you've been watching us. What do you want with Earth?" The alien's eyes narrowed, and Zoe saw something that looked unsettlingly like amusement in its expression. "Clever little one, but you understand so little. Your planet's resources are vital to our survival. Resistance is futile. Your species will be subjugated or eliminated." A chill ran down Zoe's spine. This was worse than she had imagined. Not just an invasion, but total annihilation if humanity didn't submit. She needed to think fast. "You're making a mistake," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. "Humans aren't as primitive as you think. We have technology, weapons." The alien cut her off with a dismissive wave. Your most advanced weaponry is child's play to us. Your nuclear arsenals have already been neutralized. In a matter of hours, your world's governments will surrender, or we will demonstrate our power by wiping out your largest cities. Zoe's mind reeled at the implications. Billions of lives at stake, and she was the only one who knew the full extent of the threat. She had to find a way to warn Earth, to buy them time. But how? As if reading her thoughts, the alien leader gestured to its companions. Take her to the holding cells. We'll begin the examination process shortly. As the other aliens moved to grab her, Zoe made a split-second decision. She flipped open her laptop and began typing furiously. The aliens hesitated, clearly surprised by her actions. "What are you doing?" the leader demanded. Zoe didn't look up from her screen. "Showing you why underestimating humans is the biggest mistake you'll ever make." Her fingers flew across the keyboard, executing a series of commands she had prepared for just such an emergency. She had no idea if it would work on alien technology, but it was her only chance. Suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. Alarms began to blare, and the aliens' translation devices emitted a harsh, staticky screech. The leader barked orders in its native language, but it was clear that something had gone very wrong. Zoe allowed herself a small smile of triumph. Her virus had worked, piggybacking on the translation signal to infiltrate the ship's systems. She might not understand alien technology yet, but she knew how to create chaos in any network. As the aliens rushed to contain the damage, Zoe slipped past them and out into the corridor. She had no plan, no idea where she was going, but she knew one thing for certain. The fate of humanity now rested on her shoulders, and she wasn't going down without a fight. Running through the alien corridors, Zoe's mind raced even faster than her feet. She needed to find a way to communicate with Earth, to warn them of the impending invasion. But first, she had to survive and evade capture on a ship filled with technologically superior beings. As she turned a corner, she came face to face with another alien, this one shorter and stockier than the others she had seen. It let out a surprised chirp, reaching for what looked like a weapon at its hip. Without thinking, Zoe lashed out, her years of kickboxing training taking over. Her fist connected with what she hoped was the alien's equivalent of a solar plexus, and to her relief, it doubled over, gasping for air. Zoe snatched the weapon from its holster and continued running. The device felt strange in her hand, all smooth curves and pulsing lights. She had no idea how to use it, but she hoped its mere possession might give her some advantage. As she ran, she noticed something odd about the ship's structure. The corridors seemed to shift and change, almost as if they were alive. She realized with a start that the entire vessel might be some kind of biomechanical construct, a fusion of technology and living tissue. This realization gave her an idea. If the ship was partly alive, it might have something akin to a central nervous system, and where there was a nervous system, there might be a way to tap into it. Zoe ducked into what looked like a maintenance shaft, her eyes quickly adjusting to the dimmer light. She pulled out her laptop again, praying that her improvised connection to the ship's systems was still active. To her relief, lines of alien code scrolled across her screen. She couldn't read it, but she could see patterns, similarities to programming languages she knew. With trembling fingers, she began to type, using her intuition and years of hacking experience to navigate the alien system. Suddenly, a schematic of the ship bloomed on her screen. Zoe's eyes widened as she took in the complexity of the vessel. It was enormous, easily the size of a small city. But there, at the heart of the ship, was something that looked very much like a brain. "Jackpot," Zoe whispered to herself. She plotted a course through the maintenance shafts, trying to stay off the main corridors where she would be easily spotted. As she crawled through the organic-looking tunnels, she could hear alarms blaring and the sound of many feet rushing past. Her little virus had clearly caused more damage than she had anticipated. After what felt like hours of crawling through increasingly narrow and humid passages, Zoe finally emerged into a vast chamber. The walls pulsed with bioluminescent light, and at the center stood a massive crystalline structure that could only be the ship's central processor. Zoe approached cautiously, her laptop at the ready. As she got closer, she could see swirling patterns of light within the crystal, like synapses firing in a giant brain. It was beautiful and terrifying all at once. Just as she was about to connect her laptop to the crystal, a voice rang out behind her. Impressive, human. Very impressive indeed. Zoe whirled around to find the alien leader standing at the entrance to the chamber, flanked by several armed guards. The leader's expression was unreadable, but Zoe thought she detected a hint of respect in its glowing eyes. Step away from the neural nexus, the leader commanded. You've caused quite enough trouble already. Zoe's mind raced. She was so close to accessing the ship's core systems, possibly finding a way to stop the invasion. She couldn't give up now. Why are you doing this? She asked, stalling for time as her free hand inched towards her laptop. Why invade Earth? There must be other planets, other resources you could use. The alien leader tilted its head, regarding Zoe with what seemed like curiosity. Your world is unique, human. It possesses a combination of elements essential for our survival. We have searched the galaxy for centuries, and Earth is the only viable option we have found. Zoe's fingers found her laptop's keyboard. She began typing blindly, hoping muscle memory would guide her actions. But surely there's another way, she argued. Cooperation instead of conquest. Humanity has achieved incredible things. If we work together. The leader cut her off with a sharp gesture. Enough. Your species is young, violent, divided. You squander your planet's resources and poison its ecosystems. We will save Earth from humanity's destructive nature, even as we save ourselves. As the alien spoke, Zoe felt her laptop vibrate slightly. She glanced down and saw that she had successfully connected to the neural nexus. A flood of data began pouring across her screen, faster than she could process. The alien leader noticed her distraction and barked an order to its guards. They raised their weapons, preparing to fire. In that moment, time seemed to slow for Zoe. She saw the alien's fingers tightening on their triggers, saw the leader's eyes widen in alarm as it realized what she had done, and she saw, in the stream of data flowing through her laptop, a chance, one chance, to turn the tables. Without conscious thought, her fingers flew across the keyboard, executing a series of commands that she didn't fully understand, but somehow knew were right. The crystal structure behind her pulsed brightly, and suddenly, every screen and holographic display in the chamber came to life. Images flashed by at dizzying speed, Earth's history, its triumphs and failures, its art and music and literature. The aliens lowered their weapons, transfixed by the flood of information. Zoe saw the American Revolution and the fall of the Berlin Wall. She saw the moon landing and the mapping of the human genome. She saw people of all races and creeds coming together in times of crisis, showing compassion and courage in the face of overwhelming odds. And as the aliens watched, Zoe realized she'd have found their weakness. They had judged humanity by its worst aspects, never bothering to look deeper. They had underestimated not just her, but her entire species. You're wrong about us, Zoe said, her voice stronger now. Yes, we've made mistakes. Yes, we still have a long way to go. But we're learning, we're growing, and we will fight for our home with everything we have. The alien leader stared at the displays, its expression unreadable. For a long moment, the chamber was silent save for the hum of the neural nexus. Finally, the leader spoke. Perhaps we have been hasty in our judgment. Zoe held her breath, hardly daring to hope. Had she actually gotten through to them? But before the leader could say more, a violent tremor shook the ship. Alarms blared, and the displays flickered with urgent warnings. What's happening? Zoe demanded. The alien leader's eyes widened in what could only be fear. Impossible, it whispered. They found us. Whoa, Zoe asked, but deep down she already knew the answer. As if in response, a new image appeared on the screens. A massive fleet of ships, unlike anything Zoe had ever seen, was emerging from what looked like a tear in space itself. The alien leader turned to Zoe, its earlier hostility replaced by desperation. "You don't understand. We came here fleeing something far worse than us. And now, thanks to your meddling, you've led them straight to your world." Zoe stared at the screens in horror, realizing that her actions might have doomed not just humanity, but the very aliens she had been fighting against. The true invasion was just beginning, and Earth was caught in the middle of an interstellar war it knew nothing about. As the ship shuddered under the first volley of attacks from the new threat, Zoe knew that everything had changed. Her mission was no longer just to save humanity from one alien invasion, but to somehow unite two enemy species against a common foe. The fate of two civilizations now rested on her shoulders, and failure was not an option. With renewed determination, Zoe turned back to her laptop. She had hacked one alien ship. Now she had to figure out how to hack an entire war. The battle had only just begun. Unlikely alliances. The command center of the alien mothership was in chaos. Zoe Chen, the 17-year-old hacker who had inadvertently brought two warring alien species to Earth's doorstep, stood at the center of the storm. Holographic displays flickered around her, showing the approaching armada of the new alien threat, being so terrifying that even her initial captors feared them. "We need a name for these new aliens," Zoe muttered, her fingers flying across her laptop's keyboard as she attempted to interface with the ship's systems. "I can't keep calling them the new threat in my head." The alien leader, whom Zoe had mentally dubbed Blue due to its iridescent skin, chittered something to its subordinates. The translation device, still glitchy from Zoe's earlier hack, sputtered to life. "We call them the Void Eaters," Blue said, its multiple eyes fixed on the approaching fleet. "They consume entire planets, strip mining worlds for resources, and leaving nothing but husks in their wake." Zoe swallowed hard. "Cheery bunch. Any idea why they followed you here?" Blue's skin rippled in what Zoe was beginning to recognize as discomfort. "We may have stolen something from them. A technology that allowed us to travel vast distances quickly. We thought we had covered our tracks, but my hack lit up your systems like a Christmas tree," Zoe finished, feeling a pang of guilt. "Great. So not only did I lead them here, but I basically gave them a roadmap to Earth." An explosion rocked the ship, nearly knocking Zoe off her feet. She steadied herself against a console, her mind racing. "Okay, thinks Zoe. What would Evan Ripley do?" As it can answer, a new alert flashed across the screens. Zoe's eyes widened as she deciphered the alien glyphs. "They're launching boarding parties. We've got incoming." Blue barked orders to its crew, who scrambled to battle stations, but Zoe could see the fear in their movements. These aliens, for all their advanced technology, were not warriors. They were scientists and explorers who had gotten in way over their heads. Just like her. "We need help," Zoe said, a crazy idea forming in her mind. "And I think I know where to get it." Before Blue could stop her, Zoe had patched into the ship's communication systems. With a few keystrokes, she broadcast a wideband message to Earth. "This is Zoe Chen, transmitting from an alien vessel in Earth orbit. We are under attack by a hostile force known as the Void Eaters. To anyone receiving this message, Earth is in danger. But we have a chance if we work together, humans and aliens alike." She took a deep breath, knowing her next words could change the course of human history. "To the world's governments and military forces, the aliens who came to invade us are now our allies against a greater threat. I'm sending coordinates for a rendezvous point. Bring everything you've got. This is not a drill. This is not a hoax. This is humanity's last stand." As Zoe ended the transmission, she turned to find Blue staring at her with an unreadable expression. "You realize," the alien said slowly, "that by revealing our presence to your world, you may have just started a panic that will tear your civilization apart." Zoe met its gaze steadily. "Maybe. Or maybe I just gave humanity the kick in the pants it needs to unite against a common enemy." Either way, we need all the help we can get. As if to punctuate her words, another explosion rocked the ship. Warning klaxons blared as a new alert flashed across the screens. Hull breach in Sector 7, an alien crew member reported, its voice tinged with panic. Void Eater boarding parties have entered the ship. Blue turned to Zoe, its earlier hostility replaced by grim determination. It seems we have little choice but to trust in your plan, human. What would you have us do? Zoe's mind raced, piecing together a strategy from 1,000 sci-fi movies and her own frantic improvisation. We need to buy time for Earth's forces to mobilize. Can your ship create a wormhole or something? Put some distance between us and the Void Eater fleet. Blue's skin flickered with patterns that Zoe interpreted as thoughtful. The quantum displacement drive is damaged. We may be able to make a short jump. However, it will drain our remaining power reserves. Do it, Zoe said firmly. Get us to the dark side of the moon. We'll use it for cover while we regroup. As Blue relayed the orders, Zoe turned her attention to the ship's internal defenses. Her fingers danced across her laptop, interfacing with alien systems that should have been incomprehensible. But somehow, whether through her prodigious skills or some deeper connection she didn't yet understand, the ship's code spoke to her. I'm sealing off sections of the ship, she explained as she worked, creating choke points to funnel the Void Eaters into kill zones. Can your crew operate in zero gravity? Blue confirmed that they could, and Zoe grinned. Perfect. I'm venting atmosphere in the compromised sectors. Let's see how these Void Eaters like fighting in a vacuum. The ship shuddered as the quantum displacement drive engaged. Through the viewports, Zoe watched Earth and its moon grow rapidly larger. Her stomach lurched as inertial dampeners struggled to compensate for the impossible movement. Then, with a flash of light that seared her retinas even through the ship's filters, they were there, hovering just above the cratered lunar surface, the bulk of the moon between them and the approaching Void Eater armada. Status report, Zoe demanded, blinking spots from her vision. Multiple hull breaches sealed, an alien crew member reported. Void Eater boarding parties contained in sectors 7 through 12. Life support at 60% capacity. Weapon systems offline. Zoe's momentary elation faded. They were still very much in danger, and now they were running out of options. We need to get those weapons back online, she muttered, more to herself than to the aliens around her. And we need to find a way to communicate with the Void Eaters, figure out what they want. Communicate. Blue's translator squawked in disbelief. The Void Eaters do not communicate. They consume. They destroy. That is all they know. Zoe shook her head stubbornly. Everything that lives thinks. Everything that thinks can be reasoned with. We just need to figure out how. Before Blue could argue further, a new alert flashed across the screens. Zoe's heart leaped as she recognized the signatures of Earth vessels approaching rapidly. Looks like someone got my message, she said with a grim smile. Let's hope they're here to help and not to blow us all to kingdom come. As if in answer, a transmission crackled through the ship's speakers. The voice was distorted, but unmistakably human. Alien vessel, this is Colonel Elena Santos of the United Earth Defense Force. We are approaching your position. Be advised, we are armed and will not hesitate to engage if you show any signs of hostility. So grabbed the comms, her heart pounding. Colonel Santos, this is Zoe Chen. Trust me, we're not the ones you need to worry about right now. We've got a ship full of angry aliens on our tail and more on the way. We need your help. There was a long pause and Zoe held her breath. Everything hinged on what happened next. Finally, Santos' voice came through again, tight with tension but tinged with something that might have been respect. All right, Miss Chen, you've got 5 minutes to explain what the hell is going on up there, and it better be good. Zoe looked around the alien command center at the fear and hope warring in the eyes of beings she had thought of as enemies mere hours ago. She thought of the Void Eaters, a threat so terrifying it had driven these advanced aliens to desperate measures. And she thought of Earth, beautiful and fragile, caught in the crossfire of a war it never asked for. "Oh, it's good," Colonel Zoe said, her voice steady despite the weight of two civilizations resting on her shoulders. "It's the story of how humanity just got drafted into saving the galaxy." As Zoe began her explanation, weaving a tale of invasion, betrayal, and unlikely alliances, she knew that the real battle was only just beginning. But for the first time since this insane adventure started, she felt a glimmer of hope. After all, if a teenage hacker could unite aliens and humans against a common foe, anything was possible. The fate of two worlds hung in the balance, and Zoe Chen was ready to fight for both of them. The Quantum Gambit. As Zoe finished briefing Colonel Santos, an eerie silence fell over the alien command center. The gravity of the situation weighed heavily on both humans and aliens alike. Earth's makeshift fleet hung in space near the alien mothership, a bizarre alliance born of desperation. "So, let me get this straight," Colonel Santos' voice crackled through the comms. "We've got planet-eating aliens called Void Eaters bearing down on us, and our best hope is to team up with the aliens who originally came to invade us." "That's the gist of it," Zoe confirmed, her fingers flying over her laptop as she continued to integrate with the alien systems. "But I've got an idea that might just give us an edge. We're going to hack the fabric of space-time itself." Blue, the alien leader, made a sound that Zoe's translator interpreted as a mix of awe and concern. "You speak of manipulating quantum fields. Even our most advanced scientists consider such technology theoretical at best." Zoe grinned, a manic glint in her eye. "Good thing I don't know it's supposed to be impossible then. Colonel Santos, I'm sending you schematics for a device. I need your engineers to start building it ASAP." "What exactly are we constructing, Ms. Chen?" Santos asked, skepticism evident in her voice. "I call it the Quantum Entanglement Disruptor," Zoe said, her voice brimming with excitement. "QED for short. If it works, it'll create a localized field that destabilizes the quantum bonds holding the Void Eaters' ships together." As Zoe explained her plan, mixing real scientific principles with audacious theoretical physics, the alien crew and human forces alike listened in stunned silence. It was a plan so crazy, so utterly improbable, that it just might work. "There's just one catch," Zoe added, her voice sobering. "To generate enough power for the TDD, we'll need to overload the alien mothership's quantum displacement drive. It's a one-way trip. Once we fire this thing, the ship's going to tear itself apart." Blue's multifaceted eyes fixed on Zoe, a newfound respect evident in its gaze. "You would sacrifice our vessel to save your world." Zoe met the alien's gaze steadily. "To save both our worlds. But we're going to need every scrap of technology and knowledge you can give us. This is our only shot." As the humans and aliens raced against time to construct the TED, Zoe found herself in the surreal position of coordinating a joint xenotechnology task force. Human engineers worked alongside alien scientists, their combined brilliance giving birth to a device that defied conventional physics. But the clock was ticking. Long-range sensors detected the Void Eater fleet regrouping, preparing for another assault. They had hours at most before the enemy would be upon them. As the final components of the TED were assembled, a chilling realization dawned on Zoe. "Someone's going to have to stay behind to activate the device," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Colonel Santos' voice came through, firm and resolute. "I'll do it. It's my duty to." "No," Zoe cut her off. "It has to be me. The TED systems are integrated with the alien tech. I'm the only one who can interface with it properly." A chorus of protests erupted from both humans and aliens, but Zoe stood firm. "This isn't up for debate. Get everyone else to safety. I'll handle the rest." As evacuation procedures began, Zoe found herself alone in the alien command center with Blue. The alien regarded her with an unreadable expression. "Your species continues to surprise me, Zoe Chen," Blue said softly. "Such courage in one so young." Zoe managed a wry smile. "Yeah, well, Don't go spreading it around. We humans like to keep the galaxy guessing. As the last of the escape pods launched, carrying an unlikely mix of humans and aliens to safety, Zoe turned her attention to the TED. The device hummed with barely contained power, ready to unleash forces beyond human comprehension. The Void Eater fleet appeared on the long-range sensors, a swarm of world-ending destruction bearing down on Earth. Zoe took a deep breath, her hand hovering over the activation switch. "Hey, Blue," she said, her voice surprisingly calm. "If this works, promise me something. Promise me you'll help humanity reach the stars. We've got a lot to learn, but I think we've proved we're worth taking a chance on." Blue's skin rippled with patterns of solemn agreement. "You have my word, Zoe Chen. Your sacrifice will not be forgotten." Zoe nodded, a sad smile playing on her lips. "Well then, let's give these Void Eaters a science lesson they'll never forget." With a final look at the beautiful blue marble of Earth hanging in space, Zoe activated the TED. The universe seemed to hold its breath for a moment. Then, reality itself screamed. A wave of scintillating energy erupted from the alien mothership, expanding outward at impossible speeds. As it washed over the Void Eater fleet, their ships began to twist and distort, the very atoms of their construction rebelling against the laws of physics. From the safety of the escape pods, humans and aliens alike watched in awe as the Void Eater armada disintegrated, reduced to subatomic particles by forces beyond mortal comprehension. But the victory came at a terrible cost. The alien mothership, the epicenter of the quantum disruption, collapsed in on itself, forming a short-lived singularity that winked out of existence in a flash of pure energy. As the light faded and sensors confirmed the destruction of the Void Eater threat, a somber silence fell over the survivors. Zoe Chen, the teenage hacker who had united two species and saved two worlds, was gone. Or was she? In the depths of space, where the laws of physics had been briefly rewritten, a miracle was taking place. Quantum entanglement, the very principle Zoe had exploited to defeat the Void Eaters, was working in ways no one could have predicted. In the instant before the mothership's destruction, every atom of Zoe's being had become entangled with the quantum fabric of the universe itself. And now those atoms were reassembling, drawing together across vast distances of space and time. In a flash of light that outshone the stars themselves, Zoe Chen reappeared in the midst of the stunned fleet. Her eyes glowed with otherworldly energy, and lines of alien code scrolled across her skin like living tattoos. As human and alien vessels rushed to retrieve her, Zoe realized that she had been changed by her experience. She had touched the fundamental forces of the universe and come back transformed. The war was over, but Zoe knew that her journey, and humanity's journey to the stars, was just beginning. With the knowledge of two civilizations at her fingertips and the power of the cosmos flowing through her veins, Zoe Chen was ready to lead humanity into a new age of exploration and discovery. The galaxy would never be the same again. Cosmic reboot. The return of Zoe Chen, now imbued with cosmic powers and alien knowledge, sent shockwaves through both human and alien societies. As news of her transformation spread, Earth found itself at the center of a galactic spotlight. "Welcome to Cosmic Convergence, the universe's hottest live stream," announced Kai Rodriguez, Earth's first interstellar vlogger. His holographic form flickered into existence in living rooms and alien habitats across the galaxy. "Today, we're coming to you live from the United Earth spaceport, where history is about to be made." The camera panned across a massive crowd gathered before a sleek, futuristic stage. Humans stood shoulder to tentacle with a dizzying array of alien species. Hovering drones captured the electric atmosphere as anticipation built. Suddenly, the crowd erupted in cheers. Zoe Chen stepped onto the stage, her presence commanding attention. Her skin shimmered with bioluminescent patterns, and her eyes held the depth of galaxies. At 17, she had become humanity's ambassador to the cosmos. "Greetings, citizens of Earth and honored guests from across the stars," so began, her voice resonating with otherworldly harmonics. "Today, we stand on the brink of a new era. The quantum awakening has begun. As Zoe spoke, holographic displays sprang to life around her, showcasing revolutionary technologies born from the fusion of human ingenuity and alien wisdom. "Behold, the gravity weave," Zoe announced, gesturing to a shimmering fabric that seemed to bend light around it. Harnessing quantum entanglement, this material can manipulate gravitational fields, revolutionizing space travel and terraforming. The crowd gasped as a volunteer donned a suit made of gravity weave and effortlessly floated above the stage. But this is just the beginning, Zoe continued, her eyes blazing with excitement. "We've cracked the code of zero-point energy, unlocking limitless, clean power for all." Behind her, a miniature star pulsed to life, contained within a transparent sphere. "With this technology, we'll transform barren worlds into thriving ecosystems and journey to the farthest reaches of the universe." As Zoe unveiled one mind-bending innovation after another, the live stream's viewership skyrocketed. Hashtags like #CosmicReboot and #ZoeChen's Galaxy Tour trended across interstellar social media platforms. But not everyone was celebrating. In the shadows of this new cosmic age, concerns were growing. "She's changing too much, too fast," muttered Dr. Evelyn Blackwood, Earth's leading xenobiologist, as she watched the livestream from her lab. "The human race isn't ready for this level of advancement. We're like children playing with supernovas." Across the galaxy, other species watched with a mix of awe and apprehension. The Void Eaters might have been defeated, but Zoe Chen's transformation had introduced a new wild card into the cosmic balance. As the presentation reached its climax, Zoe's expression suddenly changed. Her eyes widened, and for a moment, she seemed to look through the camera, directly at each viewer. "I sense your fears," she said, her voice softening. "Change is never easy, especially on this scale, but we must evolve or perish. The universe is vaster and stranger than we ever imagined, filled with wonders and terrors beyond comprehension." The holographic displays around her shifted, showing glimpses of uncharted cosmic phenomena, living nebulae, time-twisted galaxies, and dimensions that hurt the mind to perceive. "We stand at a crossroads," Zoe continued, her voice gaining strength. "We can cling to the familiar and risk stagnation, or we can embrace the unknown and reach for the stars. I choose to leap." With those words, Zoe began to levitate, her body surrounded by a corona of quantum energy. The crowd watched in stunned silence as she rose higher, becoming a radiant beacon above the spaceport. "Join me," she called out, her voice echoing across the planet and beyond. "Let's rewrite the story of creation itself." In a blinding flash, Zoe vanished, leaving behind a shimmering portal hanging in the air. Chaos erupted. Some in the crowd surged forward, drawn by an irresistible urge to follow. Others recoiled in fear. Across Earth, millions watching the livestream found themselves faced with an impossible choice. Kai Rodriguez, never one to miss a story, didn't hesitate. "Well, folks," he said, grinning into the camera as he approached the portal, "looks like cosmic convergence is going on location. Who's coming with me?" As humans and aliens alike began stepping through the portal, Dr. Blackwood watched in horror. "This is madness," she whispered. "We're not ready." But ready or not, humanity had been thrust onto the galactic stage. The age of cosmic exploration had begun, with Zoe Chen as its enigmatic guide. As the portal pulsed with ethereal light, one question burned in every mind across the cosmos. Where would this quantum awakening lead? Only one thing was certain: the universe would never be the same again. The greatest adventure in human history had just begun, streaming live to every corner of the galaxy. Quantum Quandaries, the cosmic livestream, now dubbed Zoe's Infinite Odyssey, had become the most watched event in galactic history. Beings across the universe tuned in, captivated by the unfolding drama of humanity's quantum leap into a new era. Day 42 of our interdimensional road trip, and things just keep getting weirder. Kai Rodriguez's excited voice rang out across countless devices. The camera panned to show a landscape that defied description, floating islands of crystalline structures orbiting a star that pulsed in impossible colors. Zhou Chen stood at the forefront of the expedition, her form now more energy than flesh, radiating with the power of 1,000 suns. Behind her, a motley crew of humans and aliens struggled to keep up, their eyes wide with wonder and trepidation. Today, we're exploring what Zhou calls a probability nexus. Kai explained, his voice tinged with awe. Apparently, it's a place where all possible realities converge. Trippy stuff, folks. As the group ventured deeper into the nexus, reality began to fragment around them. Viewers watched in fascination as multiple versions of the explorers flickered in and out of existence, each representing a different choice, a different path. Whoa! Kai exclaimed as he came face to face with an alternate version of himself sporting a cybernetic arm and an eye patch. Look at this handsome devil. I guess in some reality, I became a space pirate instead of a vlogger. But amidst the excitement, trouble was brewing. Dr. Evelyn Blackwood, who had reluctantly joined the expedition to monitor its impact on human physiology, noticed alarming changes in the teen's bioreadings. "Zoe, we need to talk," she called out, her voice tight with concern. "The quantum fluctuations are affecting our molecular stability. If we stay here much longer, we might lose cohesion entirely." Zoe turned, her eyes swirling with cosmic energy. "Don't worry, Dr. Blackwood. This is all part of the process. To truly understand the universe, we must become one with it." As she spoke, Zoe's form began to shift and multiply, splitting into countless versions of herself, each representing a different possibility, a different future for humanity. The livestream's comment section exploded with theories and exclamations. "OMG, is Zoe becoming a quantum god? This is insane. We're witnessing the birth of a new species. I knew it. The simulation is breaking down." Back on Earth, the impact of the expedition was reshaping society. As glimpses of advanced technology and alien wisdom filtered back through the quantum link, innovation exploded. Cities transformed overnight, buildings reshaping themselves with programmable matter. Transportation evolved beyond the need for vehicles, as personal teleportation became commonplace. But with progress came problems. The sudden leap in technology created a stark divide between those who embraced the change and those who feared it. Underground movements sprouted up, calling for a return to traditional human existence. Meanwhile, in the farthest reaches of the cosmos, ancient beings stirred. The cosmic architects, slumbering since the dawn of time, sensed the disturbance in the universal order. Their awakening sent ripples through reality itself. As Zoe led her team deeper into the heart of the probability nexus, the very fabric of space-time began to unravel around them. Alternate realities blade into one another, creating a kaleidoscope of impossible scenes. Guys." Kai's voice trembled as he pointed to a rapidly approaching wall of pure entropy. "I think we might have gone too far this time." Zoe's myriad forms coalesced back into a single being, her expression a mix of determination and concern. "This is it," she announced, her voice echoing across dimensions. "The ultimate boundary. Beyond this point lies the source code of reality itself." Dr. Blackwood grabbed Zoe's arm, her eyes pleading. "Zoe, please, we're not meant to see this. There are some secrets the universe keeps for a reason." But Zoe gently removed the doctor's hand, a sad smile on her face. "I'm sorry, Evelyn, but there's no going back now. Humanity's destiny lies beyond that threshold." With a gesture, Zoe created a protective bubble around the team. "Everyone, brace yourselves. We're about to compile the ultimate update for the Universal Operating System." As they plunged through the entropy barrier, the live stream erupted into static. Across the galaxy, viewers held their breath, wondering if this was the end of humanity's great adventure. Seconds stretched into minutes, minutes into hours. Just as hope began to fade, the signal returned. The scene that greeted the audience was beyond comprehension. Zoe and her team stood in a vast expanse of pure information, lines of cosmic code swirling around them like a living ocean. "We did it," Zoe breathed, her eyes wide with wonder. "We've reached the control room of the universe." But before she could take another step, a booming voice echoed through the void, shaking the very foundations of reality. "Into years," it said, with the weight of eons behind each syllable. "You Haley et Lari SPSSED into forbidden realms. Prepare for cos amites EDBUGGN." The cosmic architects had arrived, and they were not pleased. As the stream cut to an emergency buffer screen, Kai's shaky voice came through one last time. "Well, folks, it looks like humanity's cosmic speedrun just hit a major boss battle. Will Zoe Chen save reality or break it for good? Tune in next time for the mind-bending conclusion of Zoe's infinite odyssey. This is Kai Rodriguez, reporting from the brink of existence itself. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe say a little prayer for us." The galaxy collectively leaned forward, awaiting the next installment of the greatest show in universal history. The fate of all reality hung in the balance, and at its center stood a girl from Earth who had dared to rewrite the cosmos.